Just a few days to go now until the US elects its 45th president, with every hour turning up a new twist in the campaign saga. The markets are becoming more volatile, but what about IG's digital 100s? Well, Matt Brief, Head of Dealing, is with us now. Thanks very much for joining us. What are you seeing in terms of the digital 100s at the moment?
Well, we'll start with Donald Trump price. He's a 27% chance of winning the White House, according to our clients. And we've seen approximately twice as much buying of Trump than we've seen of Clinton. And yeah, currently they see him as a 27% chance of winning on Tuesday night.
We saw it hit down to, 14.4 mid-October, so dropping down to a real low. But what we've seen in the news obviously has made that increase.
Yeah, I mean, after every single debate, he dropped. After the third debate, I think he went down to about 14%, and it was looking like it was over. And as we all know, the FBI investigation changed absolutely everything. It's all that's been talked about at the moment. It's really, it's focusing people's attention on a real weakness of the other candidate. And since then, we've just seen a steady increase. I think he touched about 31% 2 days ago, and he's down to about 27% now. But yeah, it looks like very similar to Brexit in many ways.
I was going to say that was the next point, actually. If we look at what happened with Brexit, the numbers are almost exactly the same.
Yeah, I think I was in this studio a few days before the vote saying it was about a 27% chance of that happening, and no one believed that was going to happen. I think with this one, there's genuine, I won't use the word concern, but there's a genuine belief that it could happen. And I think we have a lot of clients covering their positions, and I think as we've seen from the markets falling 8 days on a trot, I think there's a lot of investors out there who aren't taking any chances after Brexit, and they want to make sure they have some of their positions hedged beforehand.
I mean, what is the client feeling at the moment, do you feel, out there? Is it one of severe caution? Are you seeing people sort of holding back? Or, I mean, I mentioned at the beginning that we're seeing more volatility in the markets. Are people slowly getting back in, trying to take advantage of that volatility?
I mean, we've seen so much in 2016. We've seen the Brexit, we've seen the GBP flash crash, we've seen some crazy elections, we've seen some crazy candidates, and I think they're just almost becoming immune to the shock factor. I don't think it really scares them that markets could have a big move. They're just not taking it for granted that Trump will lose, and they're positioning themselves accordingly.
Now, obviously, the digital 100s are one way of trading these markets here at IG, but of course, so many of the other markets are moving around this and will move afterwards, weren't they?
Absolutely. I mean, obviously, the binary price is an interesting one. It gives our clients a good gauge of what the chance of Trump winning actually will be. But most of our clients just use that 27% number to determine what trades they do on other markets and what positions they want to put on other markets. And we're going to be obviously open all night. We're going to be 24 hours on all our major FX, major indices. All the indices are going to be quoted out of hours. So the moment results come through, and we're expecting it to kind of get a good idea from sort of midnight onwards UK time exactly what's going on. Probably a declaration around about 4 a.m, 5 a.m. And yeah, all our markets are open real time, so our clients can respond to market events at a touch of a button the moment the news comes out. Our binary will be there all night, and like I said, most clients will use that as a gauge to what will probably happen, as opposed to actually trading the market itself.
In terms of those other markets, are they using this to gauge? Where are we seeing the biggest action at the moment?
What you'd expect on really, on the US indices, euro dollar, obviously all the dollar crosses, gold, expected to have a really significant move up if Trump wins, and no real surprises. Just all the major markets we'd expect to see is where we're seeing the action. The Mexican crosses, obviously particularly volatile. And that's obviously where a lot of clients are looking for the real sort of big moves you'll probably see in those markets.
And of course, because of these big moves and because of what we saw back with Brexit as well, we're making changes here at IG?
Yeah, so we're putting our starting margins up from a minimum of 0.5% to 1%, and we're doing that Friday afternoon. We're not going as high as we did over Brexit. The market doesn't believe there will be as big a move if Trump wins as there was when we exited the EU. Obviously, no one knows for sure. And we're really doing it as...
We voted to exit the EU. Let's put that there, because there's a long way to go till we actually exit the EU.
Absolutely. might still never happen. But absolutely. And it's almost just to... Everyone knows there's an election coming up, but I think when you put your margin rates up there, it's really just a much more strong message that the clients, yes, it's interesting, yes, it's volatile, yes, there's a lot of opportunity, but there's also increased risk. And I think we see it as an obvious way of reflecting that increased risk by putting our margin rates up. We very much expect them to come straight down Wednesday morning. Even if Trump wins, we'd expect the markets to digest it, probably move lower, and hopefully that will allow us just to put our margin rates back to their normal starting level.
But as you say, trading 24 hours through the night of the election itself.
Absolutely, all the major markets, the digital 100, the binary, whatever you want to call it, it's absolutely tradable 24 hours at IG. Yeah.
Thanks very much, Matt. And the binary, the digital 100 we've just been showing you, is of course on IG's new trading platform. So do check that out if you haven't already. Here at IG, we will be live 6 p.m. on the day of the election, and then 6 a.m. in the morning. As Matt said, we should start to get a feeling on the earliest possible time we'll get the result is 4 a.m. So hopefully by 6 we will have that announcement. So do join us for those extra shows as well. But for now, have a very good weekend.